That was simply not good enough. 10-man Arsenal, yes, 10-man Arsenal in the Emirates Stadium, play Brighton, and we draw 1-1. A good Brighton team, don't get it twisted. Going into this game, I think we all knew just how good Brighton were. They just came off of a 2-1 win against Man United. They won their first game 3-0 against Everton. Brighton undisputedly were a really good team and arguably could be one of the dark horses in the whole Premier League under the youngest manager. Fair play Brighton, they're a good team, no one is disputing that. But for Arsenal, at home in the Emirates Stadium, in a title race against the likes of Man City, you can't afford to slip up, especially at home. I don't care who you're playing, especially considering our next two games are against Spurs away and Man City away. Arsenal, in the first 10 minutes of the game, we came out of the blocks flying. Probably our best first 10 minutes of the season so far. Really good first 10 minutes. Saka was absolutely dominating Hinshelwood, having his way with him. And then obviously we couldn't score in that first over bit, so Brighton got their foot in the game. They started playing decent football, I guess. They had a decent header from Minter and a missed shot from Mitoma. But 25-30 minutes in, both teams are kind of having their chances. It was like a bit dull, the game, but I thought Arsenal was still the better of the teams. I felt very comfortable. And Brighton, to their credit, were very stubborn in that first half. Very hard to break down, so I'm going to give Brighton their credit there. Really good defensively. They made it very hard for Odegaard to find tons of space. But through diabolical defending from Dunk, Saka wins a header that he didn't really have to compete for against Dunk. He kind of wins the header. The ball gets loose, Saka gives it to Havertz, and Havertz with a beautiful, composed finish over Verbruggen to put us 1-0 up. A very good finish from Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz gets his second goal in the Premier League, and I'm thinking, we're not even out of second gear. We haven't played our best football. We could easily get better in the second half. Brighton haven't offered anything going into half-time. We are on the ascendancy. We're 1-0 up. We've played really good football. Brighton haven't offered anything. I'm thinking we're really on the up, but that's where it all ends. We start the second half pretty well, but Declan Rice, it's so annoying because you look at it, the first yellow card, okay, listen, it had to be made. It was a yellow card challenge, the first one. Declan Rice slides in, he loses the ball, he slides in. It's not a red card, it's just a yellow card tackle. Fair enough, that was in the first half. Going into the second half, you start in the second half, listen, we'll get onto the referee's decision, we'll get onto Veltman. But from Declan Rice's point of view, you can't afford to do something stupid like kick the ball after a foul has been given. Now, more times than not, nothing gets done about that when that does happen, even if a player is already on a yellow card. So I will give Declan Rice's credit there, but you mustn't give the referee a decision to make. And unfortunately, Declan Rice got his first red card of all time in his career by giving the referee a decision, by kicking the ball. I don't care what else happened, and we'll talk about that right now, but from Declan Rice's point of view, you can't give the referee that decision to make. And the moment Declan Rice goes off, the whole game changes. Now, from Veltman's point of view, he kicked Declan Rice. He clearly kicked Declan Rice. The ball was never going to be where Declan Rice was standing anyway. You kicked so high up it was near his knee. I'm even surprised Declan Rice wasn't injured, right? Veltman, in my eyes, is not a red card, but he should have got a yellow card. I don't care what Declan Rice just did. You should have got a yellow card for Veltman. 1000%. The third thing about that, and the thing that irks me the most about it, is, let's be honest, if Declan Rice never got kicked by Veltman, right? If Declan Rice kicked the ball and just walked away and Veltman left it, nothing would have been done. No yellow card, no warning, nothing. Then Veltman kicks Declan Rice, and because of that, Declan Rice then makes a scene out of it, and then he gets his second yellow card. If Veltman never kicked Declan Rice, that second yellow card is never being given. And with no second yellow card being given, I don't think Brighton even scored. Brighton offered nothing when it was 11 versus 11, and the moment it went down to 10 versus 11, we were on the ropes. Brighton were having chance after chance after chance. That silly mistake by Declan Rice, that dodgy refereeing by the referee, and Veltman kicking Declan Rice has costed us 2 points. Huge 2 points that could be the make or break for a title race. Unacceptable from Declan Rice, unacceptable from the referee. I just think that whole thing is so avoidable, and that is where I look at it, that costed us those 2 points. That one incident has costed us 2 points. The moment he got the yellow card, and by the way, now Declan Rice is out of the North London derby away from home. He's out of it. Luckily, he will be back for Man City in the Etihad, but he's out of the North London derby because of a silly little mistake, a silly little kick of the ball from Declan Rice. But just 7 minutes after that weird situation with Declan Rice, just 7 minutes after, Brighton cut through us. The moment Declan Rice was off the pitch, you could already tell we were in trouble. Declan Rice had been doing so well as a box-to-box midfielder, and now without that presence down the middle, we were so weak immediately. You could just tell that. But 7 minutes after Declan Rice gets off the field, we concede the goal. Now, first of all, that ball from Dunk. Good ball in his half, whatever. That is so easy. I don't care if you're down to 10 men. Arsenal, if you want to win the Premier League, you can't afford a ball from the centre-back to be put through your whole team. Just slice through your whole team like it's nothing. Slice through arguably the best centre-back partnership in the world so easily. It's unacceptable. I don't care if we're down to 10 men. Heck, I don't care if we're down to 5 men. That's an unacceptable play from us to allow an easy pass from Dunk to get through the Arsenal defense. That is not good enough. And then they eventually find themselves a goal through João Pedro. I don't care if we're down to 5 men. I don't care what the story is. You can't allow a simple ball from a centre-back to slice through your whole team. I don't care. A cool thing to see, I guess, was that Bukayo Saka got to wear the captain's armband. That was great. And the worst part about it, right? We did the right thing. I thought bringing Calafiori on was the right thing. Trossard wasn't offering all that much when we were down to 10 men. Calafiori allowed us to play 5 at the back, but still be able to counter-attack. So bringing Calafiori on, I thought was pretty good. And the worst thing is that when we made these changes, when we were down to 10 men, I still thought that we had 2 chances we should have and probably could have scored. The first one, Kai Havertz did very well to take the ball down. 1-on-1 with Verbruggen, and to be fair, Verbruggen makes an elite save. Saka gets the ball, and you're thinking maybe Saka could have dived if he really wanted to. Saka takes his shot, gets blocked, whatever. We really could have scored that. To me, that was our golden chance. Brighton on top of us against the run of play. Kai Havertz 1-on-1. We should have scored that. Good save from Verbruggen, but had we scored that, we probably would have held out for a 2-1 win. And then we had that other chance after that when Kai Havertz broke again, plays the ball across the box, and Saka gets there just a little bit late, toes the ball, doesn't get it in the back of the net. Really unfortunate when you think about those 2 chances, when you think about the fact that in the first half we were in second gear and we were still kind of dominating Brighton for the most part. Brighton did have their chances, of course, especially in the second half. I thought Mitoma against Ben White was a mismatch, not something you say very often for Ben White. Ben White's a very good defender, but there was a time where Timber had to get brought onto the right hand side to give Ben White a break from Mitoma. And the thing is, when we're chopping and changing, we finally got some sort of solidity, we got some chances going, and then Timber pulls up and he has to get taken out for Zinchenko. That wasn't great at all, especially down to 10 men. You need people that can defend, and while Zinchenko just really can't defend like that. Listen, Brighton had their moments, but I still thought, even down to 10 men, I still had a feeling we could do something. Now, maybe that's just because I knew how desperately we needed the 3 points, but really unfortunate. That Declan Rice situation costed us 2 points. It did. I'm sorry, there's no way about it. And now, somehow, someway, the next 2 games against Tottenham Hotspur and Man City, both of them are going to be away from home. Those next 2 games are even more important now that we drew against Brighton than it was before. Brighton is a good team, I know. We were down to 10 men for the whole second half, I know. But we should have got 3 points. It's unacceptable performance overall, but the way we conceded, it's unacceptable to concede it the way we did, and that might even cost us a Premier League down the line. Now again, it's a very long season, still 35 games to go for us alone. Very long season. It's not over until the fat lady sings, of course, but you don't want to start off dropping points so early on at home. Same as we did last season when we drew 2-2 to Fulham. It's just unacceptable. Now we have international break, and after that, we need to win the next 2 games against Spurs and City. That's a must.